Hello everybody, this is Mateo, and let's go see how our buddy Celio is doing, or Celio, or however you pronounce his name. It's definitely not English, that's for sure. Okay, so he's modifying his CPU that we helped him, well, we didn't really help him complete 2 parts ago. Bill helped him complete it, we were just doing some favors, like delivering a rock and finding a lost girl, and that was about it. And again, I'm going to most likely needlessly heal, just because I happen to be in a Pokemon Center. Partially so if I wind up losing, like, all my Pokemon faint or whatever, I'll still be on that island rather than swim to a different island in order to heal my Pokemon. But still, it's just kind of odd. Now, most of these islands, they have a current that is moving way too quickly for you to be able to surf on around them. However, this one does not, so we have a bit of a smaller island that we can get to and check out what's going on there. But yeah, most of them you can't really surf that much, except for where you basically can, otherwise the current will be too fast and basically what will be the ocean. So you can't surf from island to island, you have to take the cruise liner. But in this case we can head somewhere different, and it is interesting, and we shall figure out where it is after we beat up this girl. And man, so many water types as of late. I mean, I know that we're on islands, so water is kind of all around, but still, don't have to use all water types in the water area. I mean, as long as they aren't fire or rock types, it could make sense. I mean, other things can survive swimming or whatever. I mean, dogs can swim, why not use a dog Pokemon or something? Well, although the only real dog Pokemon that I can think of at the moment are Growlithe and Arcanine. So this beach, it's Treasure Beach. There is a lot of items that is hidden, so it's very good to use your item finder in order to locate it, although the item finder is kind of meh. I really am not a fan of it. I don't understand it. But you can just find a whole bunch of interesting stuff, and I don't know whether or not it might not, but it seems like it constantly, replenishes what's around, because it seems no matter what I always find something different. See, we're getting another reading now, and still not finding anything. Hello, it said 2 spaces to the down, didn't it? Whatever. I'm pretty much going to give up, I think. Also, after talking to Celio, we go back to Mount Ember, and then these 2 rockets will punch a hole in the wall. And we need to remember that password, Goldeen need log, except we don't need to remember it. We just need to be here to listen in on that, and then let's beat them up because they're Team Rocket members. And this battle is not going to be sped up because they are excuse me. They are a required fight technically, even though they're crappy Team Magma not Team Magma, Team Rocket members. How many times did I make that mistake? I don't even know. But they are Team Rocket, Team Magma isn't until a different region later on. However, this guy has a Cubone and a Marowak, which is quite different from the usual stuff that Team Rocket Grunt holds, which is kind of neat. And respect for my man Marowak. Talk about that later. Much later. Well, not much later, like 2-3 weeks from now, maybe. We'll just see what's going on there later on. Okay, next up, this guy has a lot more Pokemon, and so far he's being generic with his Pokemon choice. Is it like in the is it in the requirements of the Rocket registration to have a Rattata, Zubat, Sandshrew sometimes, or Akins, or Coughing as your Pokemon, or is it just that they're really bad at catching Pokemon, so they can only catch these Pokemon? I mean, Sandshrew is kind of good when it evolves, but otherwise it is just like all the generic stuff. Like, really, Rattata kinda really sucks, Zubat kinda really sucks, except for Confuse Ray or Supersonic, whatever it uses. But otherwise, I mean, all these guys use the same Pokemon. It's not like they're Team Magma where they have an entire fire theme going on, so they should be carrying fire Pokemon. And Team Magma doesn't even carry fire Pokemon. I mean, really, the only fire type you ever really see them using is Numel and Camerupt. And that's if you're lucky. But we'll get into that rant when we get to that game. For now, we are stuck with Team Rocket. I mean, they could use all different types of Pokemon, really. Anything that might look evil, they can use. Or not even stuff that looks evil, as long as they're not using a freaking, like, Clefairy or Chansey or something like that. I mean, they could be using Geodude, Graveler, Golem, Rhyhorn, Rhydon, the Machop family. They could be using starters, probably, especially the later on ones. What else? Well, I'm just a whole bunch of Pokemon that they could possibly be using, and yet they stick with the same, like, 5. But since they punched this hole into Mount Ember, why don't we explore it and find out what they were searching for? Also, wow, they punched a really large hole. Let's go this way, I guess. It's been a long time since I've done all of the Sevii Island stuff. Most of the time when I play this game, I stop after becoming the champion, either because I'm playing Pokemon Yellow or any of the other old first-gen games, because this stuff isn't in those games, or just because, well, I just don't care to do this stuff when playing Fire Red, or Leaf Green in this case. Honestly, I own Fire Red, not Leaf Green. However, I figured they're the same thing, so why not? And plus, I needed to play Leaf Green in order to get Slowbro, because he's not gender specific, game specific. Okay, now then, this wall, I believe it is telling you what the alphabet is. The Braille alphabet, like, in order, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I... And then we have this thing, I have no idea what it says. Let me rub my finger across the screen and try to figure out. That's how Braille works, right? Actually it is, but it's not going to work that way. Really, the only thing that I can tell are where the spaces are. That's about it, but if you looked at those panels, you'd see what the alphabet is. And you could translate it if you wanted to. Or you could look it up online, like I probably should, but... you guys can, if you really want to know, like, just search up what does that message where the ruby is in Fire Red mean. Also, back in one island, we can go ahead talk to Celio since we have the ruby, and we are now halfway done with completing his machine. So hopefully getting the other one will be that easy. Sure, why not? There's another gem that is a pair with the ruby. Good thing you just happened to make 2 divots where we can put them into your machine. And we're getting a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, now we can explore 4 through 7 Island as well. So we have a whole bunch of stuff that we can do. But that pretty much wraps it up for one island. That is everything we can do here, aside from giving the other gem to Celio, but we'll do that towards the end. But I mean, as far as locations and points of interest go, that's it. We're done with one island. Next up here we have 2 Island. This guy, he sells stuff, not a whole lot, but the items that he sells will actually increase as you do stuff. Like, after you battle the Elite Four this many times, he will sell more stuff, or as you trade more Pokemon or something, or win battles with your friends, whatever. These 2 games are mini-games that you can play if you have the wireless adapter attached to your Game Boy and you're playing it with a friend. They're like multiplayer games. Honestly, I've never played them before. Me and my friend who had Fire Red as well never really cared to do it. We just caught Pokemon and stuff. I think we battled a couple times too, so... But other than that, this girl will teach your starter Pokemon the most powerful move it can learn of its type. Kinda like Hyper Beam, where it will not allow... Excuse me. It's kind of like Hyper Beam, where you use it for one turn, and then the second turn you can't attack. And for Charizard, well actually it's for any of the 3 starters, if you traded them over. But for the Fire type you'll get Blast Burn, for the Water type you'll get Hydro Cannon, and for the Grass type you will get Frenzy Plant. I think all 3 of them have 150 power and maybe like 90 accuracy. Maybe it's 100, I don't really remember. But 150 power, Plus stab. It's quite a bit of damage, except it does leave you unable to do anything for the next turn. But really, that's just about it for all of 2 Island. It really is a small place, so we are just knocking these places out of the park and are completing them. So that's already 2/7 of the way done. Also, crap, that's what, the second, third time I've done this? Oh man. Oops. Okay, let's head back. 3 Island. Hello, 3 Island. Okay, so over here, first off, making a new video file just in case. And let's go check out that guy who was digging here trying to find gold, and it looks like he's made a lot of progress, wow. Yes, hello there, Mr. Prospecting Guy. He will finish prospecting after you beat the Elite Four and the Champion. So, we get a nugget, which we can sell for 5,000 Poké Dollars, or Poké Yen, or monies, whatever you call it. And then we also get this grass patch right over here, which has a 100% chance of finding a Pokemon named Dunsparce, which I'm not going to bother showing, but Dunsparce is a normal type. It's honestly not that great, but it's it has Serene Grace, so couple that with Headbutt, which flinches. He will flinch the enemy's Pokemon quite a bit. And here's Lostel. She'll make lunch for me one day. Oh boy. But yeah, Dunsparce, not the best Pokemon in the world. Although I did use one in a Challenge Cup tournament in Pokemon Online, and for those of you who don't know, Challenge Cup is basically random Pokemon, random items, random moves. And I was going to use the Zapdos that I had, but I knew that they were going to use the Giratina that they had, so I switched in for, Dunsparce instead, because he had Earthquake and Ancient Power, and I was kind of hoping that they would use their Volcarona, so Ancient Power would be 4 times effective. But that didn't happen, and my Dunsparce lost. It was the finals, too, so kind of funny to see a Dunsparce in the finals. I also did it for the humor of Dunsparce. But other than that stuff, we've pretty much already explored 3 Island. I mean, we went to Bond Bridge and the Berry Forest, whatever, and oh, hello, Lavier. Okay, so he got his egg, huh? So, Lavier finally laid an egg, I see. Okay. Well, oh man. He's not changed in the slightest. Well, over here we can find a pearl, which we can sell for monies. I think it's like 2,500 maybe? Somewhere around that. It's not nearly as much as a nugget. And here we can break a rock. Let's break a rock. We broke the rock. And we can get a star piece, which we can sell for even more money. I think it's around 2,500 or something. I don't know how much each thing sells for. Okay, so next up we have the daycare, but it's not like the other daycare in Kanto where we can only raise 1 Pokemon. In this daycare we can raise 2. So let's go ahead, raise Slowbro and, yeah, why not Dugong? They're both water types, I guess, so they might be in the same egg group. And by putting 2 Pokemon that are in the same egg group and of different genders, you can run around and then they will breed, and you will get another Pokemon, an egg that you can hatch into the female, whatever the female was. For instance, if you put a female Slowbro in and a male Dugong, assuming that they can breed, because they have to be in the right egg group, you can get another Slowpoke. And so there you go. Very helpful for making a competitive team. Trust me, been spending a lot of time trying to do that, but I'm nearing done with that. But also, there are certain Pokemon that you can only get by breeding, and Ditto can breed with anything, and that kind of just cut off immediately. So with that, I will see you all next time. Goodbye.